Alright, so I did my project on single mothers because, well, I think that people make a lot of assumptions and that it's a bad thing to be a single mother. And I am doing this project to shine a light on it to show that, hey, it's not all bad and there are definitely benefits to being a single mother. And two of my older sisters are actually single mothers, so it's a big part of my family. So first I'm going to do a little background, talk about a little history with a single mother, and just for an example, I found an article online from 60 years ago. Single pregnant women were sent to special hostels, which is like an old mother and baby home, to have their babies and be adopted. And this was in London. And then the story I'm talking about is of Maureen, and she just told her story about how it was important to remember she was born out of wedlock, which meant that she was illegitimate, and her father deserted her mother after finding out. And this was really important because the women had to hide their shame. So this was continuous throughout history, whether it was in a hostel, a workhouse, even penitentiaries and mental asylums. And in those mental asylums, they would be incarcerated for decades thanks to post-war influence of experts. And then a mother was considered a neurotic character and socially unacceptable unmarried mother. So this hostel in London was actually run by a church. The women were limited to stay there only 3 months, 6 weeks before giving birth and then 6 weeks after. And it was basically a baby farm. And that was one of the 2 reasons why they had these. And the other one was economic, because then the adoptive parents would donate money to these churches running the homes. And the women that were staying here had to work. They would scrub staircases, wash the floors, etc. And they were also forced to get down on their knees, like when they were in a big group, to repent. So next I wanted to talk about some different assumptions that people have about single mother, and then the reasons that they have these assumptions. So first of all, just a basic thing, most single parents are mothers. This is true. Most single parents are mothers. And then another assumption that people might have is that all single parents are miserable and that it's a bad thing to be a single parent, that they can't raise the child on their own. And this is false, because it doesn't matter if you're a single parent or not. It doesn't impair your ability to take care of your child or children. And then I just have this little chart right here that shows the percentage of single parents with custody, and the reddish orange is mothers and the bluish gray is fathers, and that just is an example to show you that most single parents are mothers. So next I wanted to continue on by giving some reasons why people assume that single mothers, or being a single mother, is a bad thing. So the first one, divorced or separated. This is actually true. Most single parents are divorced or separated, and 44.2% are currently divorced, 36.8% have never been married, 18% are divorced and remarried, and then 1.1% were widowed. And then moving on, employed. Most people assume that if you're a single mom, that you don't have a job, you don't have any income. And this is false. 76% are actually employed, with 53.2% being full-time, and then 22.8% just being part-time. And then poverty. Most people, since they assume that like you don't have a job, you don't have any income coming in, they assume that you're just very poor, you're living in poverty. And this is false. It's actually not a norm among single parents. However, you're twice as likely to live in poverty versus the general population just because you are on your own. But in 2009, 14.3% of total U.S. population lived in poverty, and then out of all that, 30.4% were mothers, and 18.8% were fathers. Moving on to public assistance. People assume that all single parents receive government assistance, and this is false. However, just some background, in 2009, 41.3% received some sort of government assistance, and around 30% received SNAP benefits, and around 7% received just temporary assistance. And another thing that people assume with age is that all single moms are young. And I looked up some different percentages, and around 40% are actually older than 40. And I just want to say that if you are a single parent or a single mom, it does not make you a bad one. And then last, the number of children. People assume that it's always more than one child, but actually the majority are only raising one child at around 60%, and then around 40% have two or more with them. And I just want to say that you can't assume. So one other topic I want to cover quickly before I get into my interviews is child support. And I just have some statistics to show how much people are supposed to pay and what people are actually getting. So $37.9 billion were owed during 2011. The average amount due was $6,050 per year, which is about $500 per month. And again, this is just average, and it obviously depends on if you have more than one child or just one child. 62.3% of that money was received, so just a little bit over half. And then custodial parents who receive child support get about $300 a month, and among 7.1 single parents awarded child support in 2011, only 43.4% received the money that was due, and this increased from 2009. 30.7% received some money due, 25.9% received none of the money, and 66.7% received some non-cash support, and these were from 2011. So one other topic I want to cover quickly before I get into my interviews is child support. And I just have some statistics to show how much people are supposed to pay and what people are actually getting. So $37.9 billion were owed during 2011. So now we're just going to hear a little bit from one of my interviewees about why it's harder to maybe meet someone.
A single parent for me would be the fear of something bad happening to or becoming of my child. I think that's a fear that any parent has, but as a single parent, the weight of that responsibility rests so much heavier on my shoulders, and it's a lot harder when there isn't another person that can take the reins and make decisions that affect her and her future. It's very stressful to think that if you do something wrong or make the wrong choice or she misses out on something, you can never get it back. It's really hard to think that it's because of you and only you. You are the one that is there to do things for her and to teach her to be a good person and take care of her so that she can grow up and take care of other people. If there was anything that I would do differently, it would be to get my life sorted out and on track before I had a child. I feel like I would be better equipped to take care of her and give her a great and amazing life rather than worrying about how I'm going to finish school while she's just starting school. It's harder to focus on different things that I want to accomplish in my life when I am wholeheartedly invested in making her life as amazing as it could possibly be. So, if I had the chance, I would try to get school and everything done and get my life set up so that I can focus on what she needs to do and also having fun together and getting to do things together without working all the time or focusing on schoolwork all the time. Being a single parent definitely makes it harder to find somebody new. Not only do you never have time to go out and potentially meet somebody new because you are busy taking care of your child, but you have a higher sense of standards because you're not only thinking about, are they good enough for me, but you're thinking, are they good enough for my child as well? Are they a good fit? Will my child like them? Etc. etc.
In closing, I just want to thank you for watching my video, and I hope you learned a little bit and you can understand better now that being a single mother is not a bad thing. It may be challenging, but there are definitely benefits to it. And if you put your head to something, and you can achieve anything. Thank you for watching. In closing, I just want to thank